So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Let's see, with the very first thing that we're going to do, which is how to start blogging. That's a really hard question. I started blogging, I don't know, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. The reason that I started blogging was because I was reading a blog on the Houston Chronicle, and the woman that was writing it was a mommy blog, and she basically wrote that she didn't think that it was possible to be a good mom and a blogger at the same time, and so she was quitting. And so I wrote to the editor, and I was like, I am apparently a terrible mother because I'll do it for free. And I think it was the combination of I'll do it and for free that convinced him. So that's how I started blogging. I didn't have to make my own blog. I didn't have to do any of that. It was already there for me. I just had to learn how to use movable type. My advice for you, if you want to start a blog from scratch, would be sleep with someone who knows how to start a blog from scratch, because I don't know how to. And my husband did it for me. There are a lot of places that can do it for you, though, and there's also a lot of places that can make it really easy. And I've heard that it is now much, much easier than it was 5 or 6 years ago to have to know codes and source codes and whatever. So let's say you already had that done, because really you should talk to a web designer. After that, what is the next thing? Let's see. You want to make sure that you, first of all, figure out what it is that you want to do. What do you want to write about? And make sure that it's something that you're going to be comfortable with writing about for as long as you're having your blog. And if you decide that you want to be a food blogger, great. But if you decide that you want to be a food blogger who also writes about photography, maybe right from the very beginning, start off on that. It doesn't mean that you can't stop and change things up at any minute, because you can. That's the great thing about blogging. But getting an idea to begin with about where you want to start makes a really big difference. Let's see. Give your audience something to say. You want to make sure that you don't take all of the comments by putting them in the blog itself. If you take all the jokes or all of the obvious responses and you use them in your blog, then your audience is going to be a lot less likely to leave a comment. One of the things that you can do that makes this a lot easier is edit. Edit, edit, edit. The key to a good blog has nothing to do with writing, well, maybe a little bit, but it has so much more to do with editing. Every blog post that I put up starts out 2 to 3 times larger than what I actually end up posting. The best thing to do is to go through and try to cut out half of your blog post, because first of all, brevity is the soul of wit, and also a lot of people who are reading your blog have ADD, like me and everyone else. So make it short and sweet. Let's see, what else? Leave it open-ended. If you have something that's really long and covers every single base, no one has anything to input. So a lot of times, especially if you're starting a blog, if you want to end in a question or something that is a little more open, things that people tend to comment more often on would be things like dreams or phobias or most embarrassing moments or things of that nature. So come up with a topic that you think is interesting and leave it a little open at the end, and a lot of times that'll help people to comment. If you're looking for comments and you're a new blogger and you just can't get your audience, one of the best things that you can do is go to like-minded blogs, the same kind of blogs that you're writing, and leave great comments. Leave comments that are so funny or witty or interesting that it makes everybody else who are reading the comments go, oh, I wonder who that is. I can say that a ton of people who are now very well-known bloggers had said that they found a lot of their readers by kind of poaching mine. And I have no problem with that. And most bloggers should not have a problem with that. If you're funny and you're interesting, or you have something that you want to share that the rest of the world wants to see, it shouldn't matter whether you're poaching people or not, because they'll come back. Let's see. The other thing would be leave comments on the blogs of other people who are leaving comments on the blogs that you like, if that makes any sense. So say for instance, on my blog, maybe I get 100 comments. You know that each one of those commenters that actually has a blog, you know that those people are people who aren't afraid to leave comments. So maybe go to every single one of those blogs and read them and see what you like and what you don't like and see what inspires you and leave a comment on all of them. I mean, sometimes that's the best way to create your community, is to kind of pick and choose and say, oh, all right, I'm into this person. My blog has a great community feel to it, and I think it's something that sort of came about partially by luck, but also came about because like-minded people attract like-minded people. Let's see. It's not a diary. You don't want to write down like everything that I had for dinner and what my cat pooped. You want to write about things that are interesting. For instance, things that you wouldn't want to say is, oh, I saw this movie today and it was really good. I had popcorn. Something that you might want to say is, I went to the movie theater and I forgot to bring the diaper cream, and so instead I used all of that pump butter that they have, and I used that as diaper cream, and my baby smells delicious. That would be much more interesting and would give people an opportunity to say like, oh, I remember one time I had to use, I don't know what you use as diaper cream. I don't even know. You probably shouldn't use that popcorn thing. That's probably a mistake. It's probably toxic. Oh, don't do that. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Oh, join blog carnivals. That's a big one. There are these different things. They're called blog carnivals. Sometimes they're called Mr. Linky. There's all sorts of different things, but it's basically where 100, 200 people get together and they all write the same sort of subject, and then they put a little link to their blog, and you're supposed to go to everybody else's and comment, and then they come to yours. I used to do one, it was called Wordless Wednesday. I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was great because, first of all, it's super easy to do because it's just a picture, super easy to comment on because it's just a picture, and you get lots of people who are looking and are able to like go through and say, oh, maybe I do like this blog, maybe I do want to bookmark them or subscribe or whatever. Make it easy for people to subscribe. I am the worst at this. I think my subscription button is actually broken, so I am a really great example of do what I say and not what I do. And the last would be the most important one, which is write for yourself. And when I say that, I don't mean write whatever it is that you want to write about, because if you write whatever it is that you want to write about, you can already do that, and you can do that in a diary. Typically when people write blogs, they want to do it for two different reasons. One is to make money, and if that is your reason, you can come back for blog video number 2, which will be very disappointing to you. And the other is they want to find their voice. If you are here looking for your voice, then the best thing that you can do is to realize that it doesn't matter if you have 2 commenters or if you have 2,000 commenters. The process of going through and writing and finding out like a year from now when you look at what I wrote a year ago, oh my gosh, I really did not like what I was writing. And then a year later, you're so much better. And then a year after that, you can do the same. You continue to get better and better and better. I think a lot of people would probably say that's really easy to say for you because you always get 100, 500 comments. But I actually have a lot of blogs and columns, and there are quite a few of them that don't get more than 10 comments at a time. And I love those just as much as I love the bloggess. So I can honestly say if you're writing for yourself, you're never going to be disappointed. If you're writing for other people, you might also. Popularity is fleeting and fickle and largely based on chance. So really figure out what it is that you want to write for yourself and write for yourself. Because if you're your own audience, more than likely you're going to be happy with the result in the end. So that's all I have to share with you for today. My next blog will be something about advertising. Talk to you later.